that help children have their souls shine. She really cares and gives back. And I'm so honored that she is here today with us on our very first program. Let's welcome Bracha Goetz. Hi, nice to see you.
So happy to be here. I'm really excited to be the first guest on your new show.
And thank you. And I want to let our audience know that you're so easy to work with that you had actually booked on a different show, and I had asked you if you would move to this show. So I think it's wonderful that you are open. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
So the first thing that I noticed about you, because I meet a lot of people who have published works. I myself published a book this year, but you have 40 books, and your main focus is, I don't know that it's specifically on writing and books, but it seems like it's on children. You really have this incredible drive to help children shine. So I'm going to spotlight you, Brock, and if you could share a little bit about how you got on this journey that you're on today.
Yes, I try to write the books that I wished I had as a child. I wasn't brought up with a spiritual understanding of life, so I want to give that to children from the very beginning. And that's what I'm doing. I have a quote. There's a quote from Dr. Seuss that a child can understand anything that's read to him if the writer takes care to state it clearly and simply enough. So that's what I do. I take really big, deep concepts and explain it in a very simple and joyful way to very young children.
Thank you so much. And this love that you have to help children to shine their souls, how do you feel when you see a child's face light up and you've made this connection with them?
That's beautiful. And not only that, some of my books, they actually save lives. I'll explain, because some of my books are about prevention of sexual abuse of children. Some of my books are about healthy eating, really important. Now, you might think, what does this have to do with the soul? Well, if we don't have healthy bodies, then our souls can't shine. It's part, they work together. The soul and the body work together. So I'm into protecting our bodies, keeping them as healthy as possible. If a child is abused or neglected, a lot of garbage gets piled on top of their beautiful soul and it can't shine. So we need to prevent that. And if it's unfortunately a child does get abused, which happens so often, it's really horrible, then a child needs to know to let people know about this, people they trust, and that it needs to be reported. So it's really, really important to reach children, very young children, even from age 3 on up. They can understand these concepts and be protected. It's as if you're getting an inoculation. It's proactive to teach children about these things, so they will be more protected in life for their healthy bodies and protect their souls.
Thank you so much. And I understand that you also do visits with schools and with organizations. And I don't know if you're still doing that with the pandemic or it's virtual, but I'd like to learn more about that.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I'm telling you, since the pandemic, I've gone just totally virtual. And I've been to continents that I never visited before. So I've been going to Australia, I've been going to Africa. I've never been to those continents until now. So I sit here in this room and I just zoom around the world giving presentations, in classrooms to organizations, schools, all types of communities, religious organizations, any place. I go on so many different types of shows, and everybody can relate because everybody is a soul. That's it. I speak to truck drivers, I speak to families with disabilities, because some of my books are about teaching children how to be more sensitive and inclusive to other children that have disabilities too. So I speak on so many different topics, and people can relate all over the world. Yeah.
Thank you. That's really beautiful. And I was going to ask you, are there any nuances of differences or similarities as you look across the world? And I think you just nailed it. You said everybody has a soul. So is it possible that it's helping the person tap into their inner self and their soul?
Exactly. That's what I'm all about. Oh my gosh, I have this line. We are spiritual beings going through a temporary human experience. The more we recognize that we're spiritual beings, that's when the veils of separation get lifted. They're really illusions. How different we are. I mean, we have distinctions, but what keeps us separate is illusory. When we lift it up, we see how we're all connected, how similar we are, all the basic things that we share in essence at the core of our being. And that's what I love bringing out into the world. Yeah, that's what I'm sharing. And it's been a learning experience for me as well to see the great variety of people that I can relate to and that relate to all the messages that I seek to convey in the books. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you know what, I like watching you, watch your face light up and watch your animation. You obviously are in your lane doing what you love to do.
Yes, you're exactly right. When I help other souls to shine, that gets my soul shining. So I'm totally yes, and I'm in a very grateful place. Yes.
If we look at the I want to say nuts and bolts of actually writing 40 books, what kind of time frame did you accomplish this during?
Well, I'm not sure if this is what you're asking, but many people ask me, how long does it take from when you get an idea until the book is actually out? It usually takes 1 year. We're talking about picture books, so it takes time for the illustrator to get all the illustrations done, for the books to be printed up, for the books to be distributed. That entire process usually takes a year. So from start to finish, from when the ideas drop into my brain until the book is in your hands.
And I love how you touch on various aspects and you're very inclusive. So when you're thinking of children, it's not a specific group of children, it's all children. It's children, everyone has a soul. And so you're really connecting with all of them. How do you keep yourself pumped up and full of energy? And because I know, at least myself, when you work with people, sometimes it's draining and you need to go and have some self-care. So what does self-care look like for you?
Oh, wow. That's an awesome question. Self-care for me, and this is, I hope to be on another one of your shows explaining this because I'm all about self-care very much. But the real secret to self-care is experiencing gratitude in whatever you do. We, when we eat natural foods, for instance, we eat them. One of the things I learned recently is if you chew it slowly, then you really get to savor it and feel more gratitude. It becomes not only a physical joy, but a spiritual joy. So that's what it takes. It takes focusing your mind, going more slowly in life, and really savoring all the gifts that we've been given, because in every moment we are being given infinite gifts. I mean, the pandemic taught all of us this, how precious breath is. Here comes life. Here comes life. And it's a symbiotic relationship. All the vegetation is giving us what we need, and we're giving it back to the vegetation. It's really a spiritual experience going on every moment. So it's just what we focus on. If we focus on that, then we can bring out the sparks of spirituality in all of life, every moment. Every moment becomes a moment of gratitude. And my definition of a successful life is a life that's full of gratitude.
You are just tying in with me so much because I feel the same way. Sometimes when I lie down in bed to go to sleep, I don't fall asleep for so long because I'm like, thank you for this, thank you for that. I'm so grateful for this, I'm so grateful for that. There's beauty and things to be grateful for everywhere, everywhere. It's just a matter of looking at it. So a question I have for you, and I hope I have it formulated correctly in my mind as it comes out. So you work with children, and as an adult, as a coach, and even as myself on a self-awareness journey, I realized that we have feminine energy and masculine energy. And I'm wondering, do children embody this as well? Do you visualize this? Have you seen this? Or is this something more that as souls, as we get older, that comes into fruition?
That's a great question. I remember when my children were really little. I said, let's just see what they gravitate towards. Give my son the cars and the dolls. if that's what you're asking, I actually saw it happening because I was really open to letting children, play with whatever, but they did seem to gravitate in a certain way. um, uh, the boys and the girls toward different things. I don't know how early they get socialized to do that, but it does seem to happen, the male energy and the female energy. But the energy that I think I have is a childhood. I have the energy of a child still very much a part of me. And that's why it's not hard for me to get into the head of a child because I'm there anyway. I have a lot of curiosity. I bet you do too, to learn and grow, and a sense of wonder about life. So that's what I put into my books, and that's what male, female, everybody has those qualities, and they're childlike qualities that I hope I never lose. I think they're really it keeps life extremely exciting. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think there's times, at least I know myself, when you just so heads down, go, 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 go. And that little child we know it's in there somewhere, that playfulness that we see with children, and the innocence. And it's nice as an adult to be able to tap into that as well.
Yes, playfulness is something we should never lose. And talking about self-care, we need more and more playfulness in our lives. I tell people, again, like, my only book for adults, Searching for God in the Garbage, is about how I overcame food addictions. And the main thing I tell people is the way to overcome a bad habit is to add more joy to your life, not less. Find out all the other joys you can sub in if you want to break a bad habit. Because one of the things I learned is it takes like 400 repetitions in order to develop a new synapse in the brain and learn a new habit. But if we do it joyfully, 10 to 20 repetitions, and we've got it down. So that's the way we teach children. That's what I try to infuse into my books. Teach children joyfully, and you can teach them about any subject: eating healthfully, how to protect their bodies, how precious their bodies are. About disabilities, you teach it in a joyful way. Yeah.
Thank you. It's all about joy. I love it. Bracha, we're going to take a break, and we're going to hear from some of our sponsors. But when we come back, I'm just going to put this out there. If you'd like to read from one of your books, that would be fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to hear from two authors, and then we'll be back on our new show, The Corner Bookstore. So stay with us. We'll be back right away.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at dianefloydboehm.com. Visit dianefloydboehm.com. That's dianefloydboehm.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to USA Global TV, home of Talking Heads, and welcome to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio out of New York. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. We have a brand new show, the first episode ever anywhere. Woo! The Corner Bookstore, starring my guest, Bracha Goetz, and she is a Harvard-educated author of 40, you heard it, 40 books that help children's souls shine. In our first segment of the show, Bracha was giving us some backgrounds on who she is and why she's so driven to help children. And she helps them in so many ways. Her books are on a myriad of topics. And it's basically, it doesn't matter where the children are in the world. Each has a soul, and she's able to connect with them so that they have inner peace, self-love, and look at themselves as the wonderful human beings that they are, spiritual beings. So, Bracha, welcome back.
I love it. You resonate with people so beautifully. So you're the perfect person for what you're doing.
It only took me 57 years to get here, so I was in corporate America before this. So anyway, but so I would love to have you read from one of your books, and I'd like to know which book you've selected and why.
Oh gosh, I had a hard time during those 4 minutes trying to figure it out. Okay, I don't know. This book just came out. This is a wild story. All my books have been published by traditional publishers. But when I wrote this manuscript for Let's Stay Healthy, my youngest children, and my children are grown up. So my youngest son and his wife, they said to me, please don't send this manuscript out to any publisher. We want to publish it. We want to become your publishing company now. Okay, so that was very exciting and interesting. So they did. They published. This is my 40th book is their first book, and the crazy thing that happened is that Let's Stay Healthy was released 2 weeks ago, and it was delivered. Let's put it that way. It was delivered 2 weeks ago, and so was their first son at the very same time. So it's been really wild, but they published this book, and their first son was born at the same time. So 2 births happened at once. And I'll start to read this book because they would love it if I, share the book that they have just published. I don't want what's on my plate. I'm full from all the treats I ate. The soda sloshing around inside was having an exciting ride. In some teeth, it made a hole, and then it really started to roll. I didn't like it making holes in me. I didn't want even one more cavity. Soon it attacked the lining of my tummy. Who knew? I just drank it because it was yummy. Eating lots of junk was how I used to be. Maybe you are a lot like me, but now I really try to stay healthy. How do I do this? Want to see? Okay, I'm not going to tell you. The rest will have
I love how you made everything rhyme, and I love your animation. You are a natural storyteller.
Thank you. I wonder, can I show you one other book? Because,
Yes.
this really, when I said, okay, I'm on TV, this is a book called I Want to Be Famous. It's about a boy that wants to be famous. A lot of children want to be famous, right? So let's see what happens here. I picked this book because we're on TV right now, right? So, I want to be famous, said Seymour one day. Those words grew and grew. They would not go away. It felt like an itch trapped inside his head. It itched him all day, and when he went to bed, those words started tickling him. They kept him up late. I wish I were famous, he said. I can't wait. And then one day, right out of the blue, doing nothing special, his wish did come true. A woman making a video walked slowly by. She caught Seymour singing, and then he burped. Oh my! Gosh. Yes, soon it was the funniest video yet. It was posted all over the internet. And Seymour's burp was the best part. Yes, you guessed it. That was just the start. By the next day, he was on TV. Then he became the star of a movie. People wrote books about him. Tons of fan mail was sent. And crowds stood and cheered him wherever he went. The president said, Seymour shall get a parade, and in Seymour's name a special day shall be made. Seymour's Day was great. Seymour Day was great. Fireworks blasted. The only problem was none of it lasted. After a short while, where'd my thing go? Oh, there we go. After a short while, his fame started to go. Brand new kids with burps began stealing the show. He was famous no more. Fans were gone, every one. Feeling sad, Seymour cried, Wait! This can't be done! But suddenly, nobody noticed what he said. They were tired of his burp, so he sulked in his bed. Seymour stayed in his bed. He did not want to play. Under 6 blankets and quilts, Seymour lay. Okay, let's see what happens. But from that dark place, something started to shine. Where's that light coming from? Wow! Inside me! It's mine! He kicked off one blanket and inched up in bed. He kicked off another. Getting closer, he said. The rest came off in one swoop. He was hot. Now Seymour felt ready, but ready for what? Ready to get up and try something new. Something he never ever dared to do. He put on a smile, then had a good laugh. He felt really happy without one autograph. Without all that fame, I'm still one great guy. It's hard to believe that, but I'll give it a try. It no longer mattered if everyone knew his name. He was breaking his habit of itching for fame. Then just at that moment, without Seymour hearing, there was a sound much louder than millions cheering. A clap of thunder burst forth from on high, louder than all applause. Can you guess why? He started breaking his habit of just looking to others, like tons of screaming fans or 2 older brothers. Seymour's bright spotlight from inside him shone out. If you see him today, you might hear him shout, "I don't want to be famous. No, I've had enough. Now I see there is more than all that superstar stuff." Bang, boom, pop, pop, countless fireworks blast. And the best part of all is, these fireworks last. Seymour's inner light sparkles. Hip, hip, hooray! Now and forevermore, it could be Seymour's day. That's it.
Woohoo! That was excellent. I feel like I just had a coaching session. I'm ready to go out. Yay! So your books are not just for children.
Yeah, that's what parents tell me. And here's the secret. Guess who's reading the books to the children?
The parents.
That's right. That's right. So when you write a picture book, you are not only affecting all the children. You're getting to all the parents, all the teachers, all the grandparents, anyone reading these books to the children. Yeah.
It's so special. Bracha, thanks for reading both of them. My question for you is, when you wrote that book about Seymour, did you have someone in mind? What was the catalyst that was you? You wanted to be a star.
That's who I was. That's who I was actually going to read you a poem from my memoir about how I overcame that, how I just want to affect each person's soul and let it shine. You don't need that. You don't need the spotlight. You need this spotlight. And that's what makes your life wonderful. Yeah.
We would love for you to read from your memoir. Go ahead, please.
Oh boy, I can keep going. Okay. Well, this is kind of on that theme. It's about appreciating being a mother, because I wasn't brought up that way. You know, as a feminist, I made a lot of breakthroughs actually at Harvard, and I wrote a book that, I was part of writing a book that's still used in women's courses around the country. So I've been very involved, but here's a book. So appreciating being a mother was a struggle for me. This is called Wonder Girl. In this book, it's basically my diary entries, my journals, my letters. So I write short books. So this book wrote itself. It's a compilation. It's basically a documentary showing the process of how I developed and then overcame food addictions, and how I became an Orthodox Jew, how I became a spiritual person through how that helped me to overcome addiction. So this is called Wonder Girl. My whole life, I've been waiting for applause. Get it? Yep, back to Seymour here. Yeah, neon lights, autographs, Nobel Prize. My whole life, I've been waiting for applause. When it comes, I laugh coy and surprised. Secretly, I've waited, always wanting to believe that the applause would never stop after I'd achieve. Secretly, I've waited, always wanting to believe. What an elusive tapestry a mixed up mind can weave. I worked hard so that I could reach the top, a Harvard grad with A's on every test. I worked hard so that I could reach the top. The world would know, it would show I was best. So why did it always happen? I could not convince myself. Awards just made a hollow sound when placed upon the shelf. And why did it always happen that the praises stopped so fast? Isn't there a goal to reach where my glory will last? Then one day, I got tired of this game. Wonder Girl, though you've won, what's it worth? Then one day, I got tired of this game, craving more. Is it found here on earth? Well, it has not been easy putting old wishes aside. While washing piles of dishes, my hands burn with swallowed pride. No, it has not been easy putting old wishes aside. Though I have young children now, the old dreams never died. This afternoon it was raining very hard. My little ones were getting bored, nowhere to go. This afternoon it was raining very hard. I decided to put on a puppet show. Lining up their kiddie chairs, they sat there in a row. I peeked out at them a moment, and their faces were aglow. Lining up their kiddie chairs, they sat there in a row. Their eyes were full of wonder as they watched my puppet show. My whole life I've been waiting for applause. Well, it came, and it's true, it was great. My whole life I waited for this applause. Their little hands, clapping for joy, were worth the wait. And suddenly I realized that here within these walls, I did something much greater than in all the lecture halls. Suddenly I realized this glory does not leave. Strand by strand, elusive tapestries are starting to unweave.
Wow, that is brilliant. Thank you for sharing your story and being so transparent with us. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No, I love it. It's fantastic. A question I have for you, which because you're so authentic in what you just read and what you shared leading up to it, you went to Harvard, and I would think I didn't go to Harvard. I went to Penn State. You go to Harvard, one of the best schools in the country, the world, and there's this pressure, I would think, that this responsibility that you come out of there and people are like, oh, she's a Harvard graduate, she's a Harvard grad, that you're supposed to do this, this, and this. And I'm wondering, did you feel that way? And if so, did that have any impact on your eating styles and what you were doing?
Well, yes and no. The reason I went to Harvard is because I was searching for wisdom. I felt that there was something missing in my life. I didn't know what it was. I searched in so many places. That's what my book is about, searching for God in the garbage. I really searched everywhere. I mean, what didn't I try? I searched in relationships, experimenting with drugs. I searched in environmentalism, all different religions. I was searching desperately, and then I decided I'll study really hard. I got into Harvard, and I thought this is where I find the wisdom. So my the eating disorders got much worse while I was there because I wasn't finding what was missing. I wasn't finding the nourishment that my soul was craving. So I went on to medical school. I wanted to be a psychiatrist, again, fascinated by the mind-body connection. After my first year of medical school, I went for 6 weeks to Israel, and I didn't come back. I stayed there for 10 years. So my life went on a huge change because when I was there, basically, I found the heritage that had been lost from my own background, my own heritage. I got to study it in a deep way. And from the wisdom, the ancient wisdom filled my soul immediately. And I felt it shining. And then from that point on, I started writing and sharing, and that's what I'm doing to help young people their whole lives to be able to have it from early on. Here's another quote: the younger you can see life clearer, the more successful in life you could be. Understand what life is all about. What I learned there, the essence of life, is to, I learned this from a great rabbi who's no longer alive, is to experience the greatest pleasure possible in life. So that's what I do. How do you experience pleasure? It's through gratitude. And I can describe another time for you all about the pleasure ladder and how we increase our pleasure every moment in life by focusing on what we're grateful for. Another saying that we have is in the Talmud: who is rich? Those who are happy with what they have. So that's what I learned how to do, and it nourishes my soul every day throughout the day. Yeah.
What a story. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Amazing. So do you feel, Bracha, that the fact that you went to Harvard, that open, I know you were searching and everything that you described, but I guess what I'm asking is a Harvard education worth it?
Oh, well, the thing is, I put it everywhere. Like when I write, I'm a Harvard-educated author of 40 books because it makes an impression on people. Basically, I have a very childlike nature to me, so I don't come across as being particularly intelligent. So when I say Harvard, then they realize, oh, she's smart. And then they listen more effectively to my messages. So I use it. I use my degree for that purpose, to be able to reach souls. That's how I'm using my Harvard education now, to open the doors into another person's soul. Yeah.
I understand. That makes a lot of sense. I can relate to that. I have my doctorate, and in corporate, I was never able to use it. And so now I'm using it to give people a platform to share their stories. So we figure it out. Well, we are actually at the end of our show, and I'm having so much fun with you. You are a blast, and I just love the way you read, and it's been a real pleasure. So I hope you'll come back on this or our other shows, whatever you want to do. We'd love to have you back again.
I would love to. You're fantastic, and you bring out the best in people. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm going to spotlight you, and if you could share with people, who would you like to contact you, and how should they get in touch with you? People listening on the radio can't read the banner, so.
Okay, great. Anybody's welcome to contact me. I guess the best place is the new website that my children created. They just did this. I was always telling people, just go to my Amazon author page, which you can. You'll see all my books there in one spot. But if you go to the Goetz bookshop, you spell it Goetz is my name, but you pronounce it Goetz. If you go to the Goetz bookshop, that will make my children so happy. And you can find all my books there. You can get them through Amazon there on the Goetz bookshop. And they have other videos of me, presentations, and you could find out how to contact me if you want me to do a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. And keep doing what you're doing, because it suits you so well. And I feel so uplifted since I've had this time with you today. So thank you, Bracha. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I look forward to seeing you again. Have a lovely weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. You know, every Friday, I have to say this, I'm not sure exactly during Friday what time during Friday I feel like, but it's like, I have the greatest job ever. Are you kidding me? I just met this wonderful woman and I learned so much from her. It's a true blessing. I'm so grateful that I have this platform and that all the people who have helped me get to where we are and the people who come and share their stories. It's such a gift. I can't even tell you. So we're signing off from this show. Again, this is our first show, The Corner Bookstore. If you would like to join us, if you're an author, if you have a story to share about your book, why you wrote, what it means to you, what you're doing with it, we'd love to hear from you. Just go over to drjacalyn.com and look for Book Your Session. This particular program is on the second page. So if you go to Book Your Session, you scroll down to the bottom, there's a plus sign, see more, and then that's where we are. Okay, now our next show is coming up. It's presenting pet psychic Amina, and she's going to discuss her views on giving pets as gifts. So I hope you'll join us. Thank you again, Bracha. Great seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you again. All right, folks, I'll be back in just over 15 minutes. Thank you. See you then.